you hit that one on the head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does kind of break it up. Plus, we haven't had fans at practice, and this gives our organization and their families to come and watch the guys practice, this afternoon, tonight, and just kind of a way to give back to them a little bit.
Do you have an update on James Robinson, whether he's going to be cleared?
You'll see him in some team drills. We're going to keep him out of contact drills, though, this week, and just keep progressing him along. But he's doing well, and that's the goal, just to progress him, here in the next few days.
How about Devin Lloyd?
Same thing. You'll see him in, some individual work. Still want to keep him away from any kind of contact right now where he's got a strain. And hopefully here in the next couple of days we'll see more of him.
You talked about having a plan of when to have more high contact practices and so forth. Have you adjusted anything in your training camp plan from when you started? Are you adjusting day to day, or has it been pretty much as you anticipated?
Everything's been as anticipated, other than kind of flipping the script today. Practicing tonight. Everything we've done, we've kept right to the schedule on all the practices, the length of time. The only thing I've done, I think, if anything, and it's subtle probably to y'all, is just increase the number of reps that the ones get during practice. I've increased that just a little bit. Started last week. We'll do that again this week, but other than that, we've stayed true to form.
And are you basically where you anticipated being at this point? I mean, I'm sure you had some milestones in your head of where you wanted to be.
Yeah, and that's kind of the gauge with the games too. You kind of that's your benchmark and where you are. And, obviously the ones came out and did a nice job the other night in that football game, and they'll get another opportunity, hopefully a little bit longer in this next game, Saturday night.
I'm sorry, kind of a minor point.
Wow! You're gonna start raising hands.
Follow up, and then
It's like, hey, you
direction.
gotta be quick. No, you're good.
Sorry, Coach.
He's gonna ask about your punter or something. Oh no, he would
It's
dare.
third string corner.
Close. The interception the other night, it was returned for a touchdown. When you looked at it on film, did Jeff fight for that enough? In your opinion?
I mean, he did. I mean, obviously, you like to see there were. It's a little bit of everything. Understanding the situation of the game, where we were, around a minute to go. We weren't necessarily in a 2-minute scenario because we were in the plus side of the field. Chance to get 3 points right there. We had a couple options to go other places with the football that CJ had, but at the same time, he chose to go that way, and that's fine. We just got to make the play, or at least knock it down. Tough play just because of the twisting and the turning, but I'd say this, great play by the DB too to get it out of his hands.
And is Jeff still in it to make this team? Is he?
Yeah, he's still competing, still doing a nice job. Not only as a receiver but on special teams, and we just keep his head up and keep moving.
Doug, knowing what you said about Devin and about James and their recovery, knowing some of the other guys that were banged up and you held out Saturday or Friday night, is it safe to say they probably won't play this upcoming Saturday?
You're referring to those two?
Yeah, Devin.
James for sure. We're still not there yet with him.
Yep.
Devin's closer,
Okay.
but we got to see today and then Wednesday again to see where he's at, Wednesday, Thursday, to really make a determination if he can play in this football game.
When you were in Philadelphia, you had a pretty decent defense that first year, and then the next 2 or 3 years it got really pretty good, particularly against the run. What do you see from this defense in terms of where it could get down the road, knowing you've got a lot of people that are still getting used to each other?
Yeah, I think, in Philly they were learning a new scheme as well in 16 and 17, and same thing here. Learning a new scheme and run fits and different gaps that you have to protect and defend, and it's just different styles, and but at the same time you see improvement. We saw improvement a little bit this past week against Cleveland's rush, and then we got to take it up another notch this Saturday against Pittsburgh, who kind of prides himself in running the football. So it's a matter of just continuing to work together, getting more reps on the field with those starters. And I think you'll begin seeing a little more improvement in that area.
You were first, 7th, and 3rd in run defense the middle years in Philly. Do you feel like
I didn't know that.
Do you feel like the personnel that you have here can ascend to that type?
I think so. I really do. I think it's a good group of 7 or 8 guys, that comprise of the front when you start adding the safeties in there. And so, yeah, I do believe that we can ascend there. It's going to take a lot of work, though. This is you look at our division and some of the running backs in our division, and we're going to have to bring, as I say, your lunch bell to work every day when we play these guys.
Can you just talk about the decision to waive Jake Luton and the rest of the guys today?
First of all, appreciate everything that those guys did for us, off-season, training camp. They gave everything they had, obviously to us, and we appreciate that. It is just I've been in their shoes too many times, to understand exactly and know exactly what they're going through. It's just part of the business, and by rules we have to reduce our roster by 5 guys, and we got to do 5 after, next week, and then get it down to 53 after that. So it's part of the business, but it also gives them an opportunity to seek employment somewhere else and try to stay in this league as much as they can.
What did you see from the other quarterbacks, or just the one, and then to waive Jake today?
Yeah, it's I'm not going to get into a bunch of the whys, but you got to make tough decisions in this league, and you get down to the point where sometimes too, having the extra quarterback, you're not getting enough snaps now because you're getting your starters ready to go, and we haven't seen EJ enough yet, so it's time for him to perform and see what he can do.
Does he have the kicking job down now? Is it his?
Still working there too. Until we make the 53, I think everybody's still fighting for spots. Quite honestly, and we know a few guys are going to make. Josh Allen's going to make the team. We know that. Trevor's going to make the team, but there are guys competing for roster spots, and until we make that 53 final, I think these guys need to understand that.
What was the
Enough from
injury?
Santoso to be comfortable with him?
I think we're still working there. I think we need to see more, quite honestly. He understands that, and it's unfortunate that Elliott got hurt in the game the other day, and because there was some nice competition going on there in practice, and I thought those two would kind of battle it out to the end, and we'll see what happens here at the end.
What was the injury to Elliott, and then in turn, do you maybe have to waive another additional player to bring in another kicker at some point?
No, it's just a groin with him, just kicking leg, and you can waive him injured, and protect yourself that way, so you'll be part of the 5.
Chanel and Kurt, are they full go tonight?
Yes.
You talked about it being important to see the offensive line, the physicality last week. When you went back to the film, what did you really see from that first group?
I saw movement on Cleveland's side of the ball, whether it be the double teams or even some of the single blocks. I'll tell you this, one of the things that Cleveland really did a nice job, they run their linebackers through gaps really well downhill, and that was good for us to see because we missed a couple. But at the same time, we were able to create a new line of scrimmage and do some good there with our one offensive line. But again, we still got to be aware of those second level defenders and pick those guys off. We had some chances to create some bigger holes that we missed, but that's why we go back to practice and figure those out.
Does it seem like things are slowing down for Luke? The more reps he sees, I know you
Oh,
talked
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, he's getting more and more comfortable, in there, and of course it helps playing, next to Brandon and really Shatley, and their 2 veteran guys can really help him out.
Where does Ben Barge kind of fit in the offensive line depth right now? Just how is he kind of progressing?
He's progressing well. He's played well. Him and Tyler are working at left guard. And I think there's a little bit of competition there as well, and that's good to see. Both guys are doing extremely well, and it's good to have depth there at that position because Shatley can also play center, which is good for us, and we just continue to monitor their progress. But Ben's been doing really well.
Would you say right now that the number 1 spot at left guard is kind of up for grabs?
I think so. Again, both guys are doing well, but it's you could start Ben one week, you could start Tyler the next. It's that close right now to call.
What do you want to see out of tonight's practice? Obviously, it's a live hitting again. Just you talked about the physicality last week. What do you want to see today?
Same thing. Physicality, obviously protect each other. one of the periods tonight will be the run game, and so just defensively, just being able to, fit those gaps and still work on the run, defense that way, and same thing offensively. I'm kind of caught in the middle, right? I mean, I want to succeed offensively, but at the same time, I want the defense to stop them. So those are the things you got to see out of practices like this. It'll be a little cooler tonight, for the guys, so they should be able to fly around and enjoy the night.
It used to be when there were 4 preseason games, the third was always the big one for the veterans and the starters. You have 4, but everybody else has 3 this year. Do you treat the third one like you used to treat the third one?
Yeah, a little bit. You're talking about this week being our third. Yeah, for me, I do want to see our starters play a little bit longer, go a little bit deeper into the second quarter. Our defensive starters haven't played a ton in the first 2 games. They've done well. They just haven't played a whole lot. So I want to see them play a little bit more in this game, and same with the offense. And just again, just start seeing the consistency with those 2 units. But yeah, I think overall, it's kind of treating this like we would a normal in-season game plan type, game, and then get ready for for Atlanta next week.
What did you see when you watched back the tape in terms of the run game? Maybe some struggles there. Travis was able to break free for that one. Was it inconsistencies along the offensive line, or?
It was a little both. We talked about the run through linebackers. Cleveland does a great job of that, anticipating us not coming off of some of our B blocks and A blocks and different combo blocks on that, and then the running backs just staying patient with the hole too. There's some quick, decisive moves that they could have just been a little more patient. And so that's all the timing things that we just continue to work on in practice and get better at. But I thought overall decent, heading in the right direction, and just another opportunity this week to get better.
How pleased have you been with Zay Jones and just his ability to connect with Trevor this early?
Yeah, it's been a bright spot, offensively. Zay's a tremendous worker in practice. He practices fast all the time. He's picked up our system well, and he and Trevor seem to have a good rapport. They work a lot together, and it's good to see, from him and Christian and really Marv too, But Zay's been a veteran player, great leader, good in the room, and he's obviously made some plays the other night. It was good to see.